Imagine living in a world where Google is no longer the king of the search engines anymore. Google has held that position for as long as anyone can remember, but the world seems to be changing. With Google's inability to keep up in the AI race, and its heavy losses in the stock market, it is safe to say that Google is running out of steam. And with competition finally catching up to it, Google could be knocked off its internet throne. Let's take a deeper look as to why that is. Alphabet, Google's parent company, recently had its worst day on the stock market in over 2 months after a report emerged, stating that Google could lose a multi-billion-dollar contract. The contract in question is Google's partnership with Samsung, which puts Google as the default search engine on all Samsung devices. This partnership earns Alphabet nearly $3 billion every single year from the Korean tech giants. Even though $3 billion is less than 2% of Alphabet's yearly revenue of nearly $280 billion, it's more concerning to see why Google may be losing this contract in the first place. The New York Times reported that in the ongoing artificial intelligence war between Microsoft and Google, Microsoft is clearly miles ahead. And higher-ups at Samsung have been taking a keen interest in this. It is reported that Samsung is considering switching the contract from Google to Bing, due to Microsoft's better handling of their AI capabilities. According to reports from within the company, Google's employees are in a state of panic, which may explain the 3% drop in stock valuation. Google's market cap fell by a massive $57 billion as a result. Some reports suggest that this may even harm Google's $20 billion a year deal that they have with Apple, which would be a much bigger blow to cash flow and company revenue. Back in February, Google's stock had fallen by as much as 7.7%, when its own AI named Bard provided incorrect information at a demonstration event. This led to a market cap fall of over $100 billion for Alphabet. Google's main rival Microsoft faced similar problems with their demo, before their partnership with OpenAI. Companies like Meta, Baidu, and IBM have joined the AI race too, but they are facing similar problems with their tools. Developing artificial intelligence for commercial purposes has proven to be a difficult task for tech giants. One of the most common issues is AI spreading misinformation and giving inaccurate descriptions. In an interview with CNN, Google CEO Sundar Pichai claimed that Google needs time to deploy effective models of security before pumping out AI tools. He said that all companies in this sphere need to be very careful with AI tools, as they'll have vast impact on businesses, professions, and society in the future. And having an AI system which spreads misinformation puts the company in a bad light. For Google, this means taking into account user feedback, which will allow for better AI products in the future. At an event in February, a Google executive also said that the company will deploy generative AI directly into the core search product. So that begs the question, just how solid are Google's plans for incorporating AI tools into its services? Reports suggest that Google have been developing their AI capabilities under the codename Magai, which builds on Google's Bard. The Magai project will serve as a rival to Bing and ChatGPT. The New York Times reports that Google is planning to roll out AI-powered searches in the fall of 2023, but some services could be offered as soon as next month. Google is planning to limit these services to 1 million users only, all of whom will be based in the United States. Google has the luxury of taking their time, at least in the short run, as they are not in any immediate danger in the worldwide search market. Google controls nearly 85% of this market, whereas Bing, even with the help of OpenAI, lags behind with a mere 9% search market. This allows Google to ensure accuracy on the Magai project. Magai aims to create a more personalized experience for every user than what it offers in its engine currently. Magai will first update Google's existing search engine using a team of 160 people. Lara Levin, a Google spokeswoman, said in a statement that, "Not every brainstorm deck or product idea leads to a launch, but as we've said before, we're excited about bringing new AI-powered features to search, and we'll share more details soon." In the so-called AI war between Microsoft and Google, the outcomes for everyday users are pretty much the same. The services being offered by both the giants include incorporating AI in the tools that we already have available. Google revealed plans to make AI a collaborative partner in the workspace apps like Gmail, Google Spreadsheets, and Google Docs. Microsoft plans to use AI to expand on the powers of its Office services like PowerPoint and Excel. In Microsoft's case, the stakes are much higher though. Microsoft has actually lost the market for office productivity software to Google after being market leader for so long. Microsoft holds 47.6% of the market, whereas Google has ramped up their share to just over 50%. However, Google is falling behind severely in actual revenue. with revenue barely touching $26 billion in 2022, Google actually had a loss of over $3 billion in its cloud segment. One reason why Microsoft may be able to generate higher profits in their intelligent cloud is because they place Office as their primary cash cow product, as they bundle it with Windows. They were able to generate an operating income of $32 billion through this. Microsoft Office and related cloud services brought in more than $67 billion in revenue in the company's last fiscal year, up 30% year-over-year, and representing more than a third of company revenue. The ongoing growth reflects Microsoft's successful transition of its Office franchises from traditional software licensing to the modern world of the cloud and subscription pricing. Now, by adding AI to the mix, the company is aiming to reinvent Office again. In a press release, Microsoft also announced a new business chat tool that brings together data from across documents, presentations, email, calendar, notes, and contacts to help summarize chats, write emails, find key dates, or even write a plan based on other project files. The company is also working around the clock to perfect the Microsoft 365 Copilot AI services. Microsoft uses the help of OpenAI on these technologies. The collaboration with OpenAI is proving to be even more important since the failure of Bing AI at providing accurate information. Microsoft has gone as far as firing many employees in the responsible AI department, which has raised concerns over safety and ethics of AI. Microsoft's vice president of its modern work department, Jared Sperato, has said the Copilot provides correct descriptions and heads users in the right direction, even when the information it provides is not fully accurate. One big unanswered question is how much Microsoft 365 Copilot will cost. Microsoft says pricing and licensing details will be announced soon. It is also unclear when the features will be widely available. Microsoft claims 365 Copilot is already being tested with a small group of customers to get the critical feedback required to improve these models as they scale. To put things into perspective, JP Morgan analyst Mark Murphy wrote that Microsoft is the clear early leader in the generative AI space, and has potential to achieve escape velocity and separate itself from competitors. And with Samsung potentially hinting at breaking Google's dominance in the search engine space with Microsoft's AI, what are the potential implications for Google? While Google's deal with Samsung accounts for less than 3% of their year-on-year revenue, Google fears that it can act as a trigger for a major shift in the market. The New York Times calls Bing AI the most serious threat to Google's search business in the last 25 years. Simply put, if Samsung can reconsider their deal with Google, so can other tech giants, including Apple, who account for a much larger proportion of Google's revenue. More so, Google does not want to stay behind in the AI race either, as it feels that language-based intelligence models are going to change the landscape of the search engine market forever. An even bigger hurdle in the way of AI taking over the search engine market is the massive cost of running such technologies. Google or Microsoft do not reveal the running cost of their respective chatbots. However, according to an analysis of open-source software by a computing professor at Georgia Tech, the cost of running a query similar to ones on Google Bard and ChatGPT is estimated to be 11 cents. While this does not seem exorbitantly high, when millions of queries are thrown at the servers, the cost multiplies into a very high figure. In contrast, a traditional web engine search can be done for a fraction of a single cent, making it much more cost-effective. If every web search shifted to a chatbot conversation tomorrow, the margins of Bing would suffer, but for Google the cost would be so drastically high, it may have to file for bankruptcy. The search market dominance for Google has meant that they have been able to turn Google Chrome into the most dominant browser in history. Currently, Chrome holds a market share of 64.8%, compared to 19.5% of Safari and 4.6% of Edge. Edge has a larger market share than Bing, which Microsoft can use to their advantage. By incentivizing Edge users to become Bing users, Microsoft can gain some market share on Google Chrome. The folk at Bloomberg have an interesting take on the matter. They believe that the Fabian strategy is at play here. Essentially, Microsoft's Bing has never really been big enough to challenge Google's dominance. And Microsoft may not be looking to dethrone Google anyway. Their plan is to simply make moves that force Google to make a mistake. Microsoft's chatbot and its partnership with OpenAI is one such example. Google is currently riled up and essentially trying to one-up Microsoft, and in doing so, it is incurring huge costs in the AI development. Google is even losing stock value, whereas Microsoft is making profits. Satya Nadella, Microsoft's CEO, has come out with provocative statements saying things like, "We made them dance," claiming Microsoft's role in stirring Google to come out and react to Microsoft's innovation. New reports emerging show that Alphabet is taking steps to merge its internal Google research team called Brain with their DeepMind group. Alphabet acquired DeepMind back in 2014 for a deal worth $500 million. Both groups focus on artificial intelligence, and thus, Alphabet is hoping to combine their computational resources to speed up their AI progress. The single team will be headed by Google's Jeff Dean, who already leads Google's AI efforts. He'll be given the title of Chief Scientist at Google, where he'll report to Sundar Pichai himself. DeepMind, headed by Demis Hassabis, will focus on the development of general AI and machine learning, whereas the Google Research Brain team are focusing their efforts on algorithms and theory, privacy and security, quantum computing, health, and responsible AI. All in all, Google claims to be taking things easy in an attempt to ensure that ethics are not compromised in their effort to retain their dominance. Sundar Pichai is stressing on the importance of keeping a level head when it comes to developing AI, as the technology has the capability of being dangerous. Before ChatGPT, Google was considered the industry leader in developing large language models. It used those models behind the scenes to improve its search results and for language tools such as Google Translate. However, the company has become calculated about releasing its most powerful language tools to the public, preferring to publish its cutting-edge advances in academic journals instead of flashy demo events. Google's search engine is explicitly built around values such as expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness that today's language models notably lack. The war between Microsoft and Google in the AI space has the ability to change the way we use technology for a very long time. Potentially missing out on contracts may have its short-term disadvantages, but Google fully believes that it needs to put in checks and safety measures before going all out in this race. Google has to figure out how to capture the excitement of experimental AI tools in a search engine that is anything but experimental. There's no doubt that Sundar Pichai is sincere in wanting to find a balance between moving quickly and moving carefully, before losing out too much territory to Microsoft. The hard part will be deciding which side to choose. Google has had trouble with their excessive burning of a lot of the free cash flow due to high stock-based compensations. Sundar Pichai has been asked to reduce the Google workforce by 20% even after Alphabet laid off nearly 12,000 workers. Google needs to improve their cost structures to make some of their products profitable. Many analysts had been predicting Google to lose a major share of their revenue with Microsoft's superior AI capabilities. The truth is that Google themselves are not too far behind in the AI race, and they are taking the right steps to ensure that Magai can effectively challenge ChatGPT and Bing AI when it comes time to release the full Magai product to the public.